Hello, Spindler Academy. So I was making what were going to be my notes on the next video, which is going to be standard deviation. As you can tell from here, it was going to be standard deviation. And I realized that I need to make a video on what is, well, there's a dependency basically, because standard deviation is defined as the square root of the variance. But I realized that by making that video, I'm implying that you know what square root is. So I need to define what square root is. So I'm going to do that right now. But basically, what is a square? I'm hoping you know what a square is, but just in case you don't, well, that's not even a square, that's a rectangle. If I hold down Shift, does it become a square? It does become a square. So let's fill that in. There we go. We have a square on the screen. So a square means that the length of this side, x, y, well, x equals y. Whoops, I should use this instead. So a rectangle would mean that x does not equal y. Rectangle, x not equal to y. A square is where x equals y. Okay, so what does it mean to square something in a mathematical sense? If you have a number, whoa, what did I do? Interesting. Okay, if we have a number, let's say 3, and we square it, which to do that, we put a little 2 up here, that's 9. And what does that mean? That means that we're doing 3 times 3. So, and it doesn't have to be with 3, it could be with 2, or 1, or 4, or 7, or 9. So like, I guess I could make a table. Where I explain what squaring something is. So let's say this is our x, and this is our, let's say this is x squared. If we start with 0, 0 squared is 0. Let's go, we know that 3, I'm going to put this down here, 3, we know 3 is 9. What about 2? 2 is 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. And I guess I'm assuming you can multiply things, which I think is a safe assumption, but I don't know. But I'm just going to assume that right now. So what if we have a square of a negative number? I'm assuming you know a negative number too. Negative number just means the absence, or not the absence, but it's a not positive number. But this is just a video to clarify some things, I guess. So negative 2 is also 4. What about 5, negative 5? Well, that's 25. And you can square numbers that aren't whole numbers either, or natural numbers, or integers, I should say. Let's do calculator. So if I go 0.5 and then square it, it's 1/4. So, because, let's see, 1/2, 0.5, whoa, 0.5 is equal to 1/2. And if we square that term, well, for fractions, to square things, you distribute this squared term, so it would be 1 squared over 2 squared. And then that equals, oh, I didn't write this, but there's a 1 here and a 1 here, because 1 squared is 1, or 1 times 1 is 1, over 4, and which is 0.25. Oh, these are not all equal. I should erase that. Well, I added, so I need to get rid of this, basically. Oh, come on. Okay, so now they're all equal. Yeah, so that's squaring. Then, what is the square root? Well, square root is just the inverse of square. So, if you're doing square root, make that a bit brighter. Square root of 9 is equal to, well, it can be 3, or it can be negative 3. And this is the symbol that you use to determine that. But if you do it on a calculator, it's just going to show you the positive ones, I think. So let's try that. 9 square root, yeah, 3. But if you were to multiply negative 3, oh no, there, can you do negative numbers? Negative 3 times negative 3. That's not. Okay, make it a graphing calculator. That's not what I wanted. Scientific calculator. There we go, I needed parentheses. Negative 3 times negative 3 is equal to 9. I just proved that, but whatever. So the square root is this term right here is called the radical sign, or like I didn't draw it too well. In Khan Academy's video, he draws it like with a little thing right here. I don't usually draw it with that at the end, but that's called the radical or the radix. And the number that's under it is called the radicand. So I guess I should write that down. Radical or radix. And then the number, that's just that. And then the radicand would be 9 in this case. I can't write today, so I apologize about that. But, yeah. So, what am I missing? Basically, the square root is the inverse of the square function. Oh, I should graph them too. Calculator again. So if we were to draw, if I go to graphing calculator and turn it, oh, this is nice. I didn't know the calculator app had this. We're gonna do x squared to the 2, and then graph it. We get, this is x squared, and that's just what it looks like. It looks like a parabola, I think, is the correct term there. But if we also do square root of x, I guess we have to do, and in programming you'll see it expressed in terms of a function, which just means that like they write out sqrt instead of the square root sign. Yeah, you'll see it is also, it's half of a parabola because it's only graphing the positive values of it. So if I were to do, I could add, oh, I guess it changed it, that's weird. Negative sqrt of x. If I add that in, you'll see we get, oh, okay, there's the other half of the parabola. And yeah, so that's the blue in this case is the squared function, and the green and the red are the square root function, where sometimes there are negative values, so you just have to be aware of the fact that they can be, two negative numbers can be multiplied together to get a positive number. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's a good enough definition of the square root for the purposes of Spindler Academy, and hopefully in the next video I'll talk about standard deviation. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.